Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Terence with his first controversial video of this channel. You probably read the thumbnail or the title by now, and hopefully you've realized what this video is going to be about. Well, a couple of days ago, in fact, I think it was 4 days ago, and on 3 days ago, it was then reported by the Indian news channels as such that an Indian student was denied entry into his college because of wearing feminine attire, right? The student was a male. I'm just trying to be careful with my words, right? And before I proceed into this topic, right, these are my opinions. If you don't like my opinion, just leave, right? It's my opinion. And yeah, the way I'll be looking at this topic today is from an angle of science, but also an angle of being realistic as to where the future is headed, because I think this is a good example of what is to come with regards to India and this new topic, right? And what's going to happen as such, right? So like I said, this guy, his name is Pulkit Mishra. Let me just open the yeah, I think so. His name is Pulkit Mishra. Yeah, Pulkit. Yeah, his name is Pulkit. So he was denied entry into his college. In fact, the security guards, when they saw him enter, probably they saw him wearing some feminine dress, like a what do you call the top or whatever, right? And when they asked him as to why was he wearing this, he said that clothes or the attire that you wear is genderless, right? He's a male, but he says the attire that he's wearing is genderless, right? So the security guard probably told him, I think so. This created a big hassle then and there, that you're a man, you should dress up like a man, and then he was not allowed to enter into his first lecture, I guess, and then he asked his friend to go get him some clothes, to change the clothes, right? And the internet is all around talking about this, like, is this right? Like, what are the right steps in terms of a topic such as this, which is genderless attire, right? Being very specific. Now, there is a place for expression in this world, right? Although it is not defined anywhere that your expression, let's say in terms of attire, I'm not talking about anything else. Your expression in terms of your attire that you wear has to be in a certain way, certain locations. Although if the college or school that he is going to is a private institute, it probably has some laws, right? And probably that's the reason they did not allow him to wear that. He also claimed, in the report, it also said that he did face some harassment and bullying in the class for wearing a feminine attire, although he's a male, right? Now, some of you, there'll be two parties here. One of the first party will be like, no, how dare he's a male, he should not wear clothes that are designed for women, right? And the other side will be like, oh, look, we're in the 21st 22nd century, and how dare you go ahead and claim that that the female attire cannot be worn by a male when females are as powerful or whatever, right? Now, my perspective and my opinion, I feel this is a state of evolution. In other countries like in America or UK, it's gone ahead, right? And we know what's happening there in terms of the pronouns and all of that. In India, this is a very new thing. Although there has been the normalized for now kind of thing, like where they change genders, that has always been there. But changing things like attires and pronouns, etc., I think so those things are just creeping in right now, and they're making headlines. And what do I think will happen in this country, as well as in the world as such, with regards to topics like this, in terms of changing gender, changing your sex whenever you want, asking for pronouns, whatever, right? In my opinion, this is just a transition phase of evolution, right? In the animal kingdom, you can also see, forget the animal kingdom, let's say your domestic dog or cat, right? You will see sometimes a male behaving like a female and a female behaving like a male, right? It is there. We can't deny that. This is what do I say? It's a universal fact and a truth that genders, with regards to gender, sometimes the being, right, the individual or the species, right, can it can get confused as such, right? And I'm taking confused not in a negative sense, it's just confused, right, as to what it has to be. Now, like I said, for me, this is just a transition period, is what I feel that the entire human society is going through, right? Uh, Looking at it from an outside perspective, I feel as long as whatever the person chooses to be, or whatever the person desires to wear, or whatever, as long as it's not hurting anyone, right? When I say hurting, I mean real hurting, like, like actual physical pain, right? Or even mental abuse, right? As long as it's not offending anyone in terms of actual side effects, I think so anyone should be allowed to do anything. This is my opinion, because I feel there will come a time wherein there'll be another radical shift happening, and we don't know what that is, right? um, Now, obviously, this is an extreme minority community in the whole world as such, right? And I think, as a person of science, as a person who looks at things from a larger perspective, and a long term view as such, we cannot be quick to judge and say, let's put a stop to this because it offends me. What is it? Like, the person is wearing something and that is offending you. Like, how does that even, how does it offend you? How does it offend? See, I understand that if he's walking in naked into a professional situation, it's a different thing, but he's just wearing feminine attire, right? So I think so Mr. Pulkit Raj should have been left alone, right? But it's very natural that there may be situations where he may face harassment or bullying or whatever, right? Because the culture this country is built on multiple cultures, it isn't very evolved to handle new scenarios. This is just my opinion. Again, feel free to leave your comments, so you can send me questions via an email. So yeah, I think so, especially for people watching this video, if you guys are in the education sector, or professional corporate sector or whatever, you need to understand, I feel this is a very natural process that's happening. And it's like, let's say evolution is going like this exponentially, right? It's going up like this. I think so it's just a divergence where the curve is bending upwards. It's a very slight bend, and that is what we are feeling as a society, right? Because earlier it was just male female, and there was some, what do I say, transsexuals out there, but now it's like, you can get thousands of genders as such in other countries, right? So how will India manage with this? I think so it's quite ill-equipped in terms of a sense of understanding of where the world is headed. There may be chaos in the future, there may be fractures, but I think so this is a very natural state. It's a very natural state for the human evolution as such. And as per me, I think so for now we just have to ride things along, right? Because the reason I say we have to let things be, and let take its time and curve, right? Eventually, if you look at nature, right, eventually I won't say faulty or mistakes or errors, right? They're not rectified, but they're improved, and they're made to be part of the system, right? Us humans are, we just put blank statements saying that this is 0 and this is 1, and whatever is 0 should be, not be there in the society, right? Now I get it. Some of you will use extreme cases like, murder or whatever. Should that be allowed as well? Obviously not. Like I said, if they are doing something that isn't harming anyone else, I feel we just need to observe. We can't push judgments over them. Although if they're definitely, let's say, in the name of, let's say, worst case scenario example, let's say a person of some unknown gender decides to change their species and tries to attack people, then obviously that's a different question, right? Because he or she is causing harm. But I felt really strange and sad for the person as well. That he wasn't allowed to enter his college, and then he was asked to change his clothes as such. I think so. Like I said, the Indian culture and media hasn't gotten up to what's going on in other countries as such, and that is why we saw this whole rambling situation last week that happened with Mr. Pulkit as such. Be very comfortable with any sort of situation you face, especially when you're in the corporate world, because you may feel like, let's say, the early millennials, right? It was clear you would either meet a man or a woman, and then somewhere in between, sometimes you would meet a transsexual or whatever, right? You cannot succeed or thrive in an environment right now, is what I feel, if you're quick to judge others, right? And tell other people what to do, right? That's the worst thing I feel that's happening, telling other people what to do. So yeah, that's my thoughts and my 2 cents on the opinion of Mr. Pulkit. I forgot his name, Pulkit Mishra or whatever, right? I hope that the society is much more kind to him, because we have bigger problems to deal with right now. And I feel this is a natural state of evolution where it will correct itself if it is wrong, and it will not correct itself if it is not wrong, right? We just have to let things be. We cannot take judgments in the name of religion, God, or whatever. Um, so yeah, let me know your thoughts on the situation that happened. I will link all the articles in the description, and like I said, once again, these are my opinions. If you disagree, disagree. If you agree, you agree. Until then, I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye.